Ooh, and here we are, we're live. Hey, everyone, and welcome. Thanks for making it over to my channel. What unexpected situation, right? So welcome everyone who has made it over. I can see that there is Julie Wade. Then it's Craig. He already was the first one who said he couldn't make it today, but anyway, he will catch up, I guess. So thanks for that. And Ian Miller is not only in the chat, but he's live here. Look at him. He's live in color here, back in the house. So welcome to Balcony Banter, everyone. And we have another face who has been already here before, Luke. So I'm very happy that both of you could make it. Welcome.
Hi everyone. Hey everyone. Hey everyone in the chat. I can't see the chat right now, right? It appears. Does it appear here?
No,
No. I see it now. Yes, it's in the window.
Can you see it? You can open your YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
All right.
I've got it.
We have a few coming in now, so we're just gonna say hello to everyone. So we have Nikki. Oh, I haven't seen Nikki for a while, so nice that you made it over. We have Evie Blue, Julie Wade. We got Derek Walker and Ellie Bennett. Hi everyone. So thanks for making it over here, and thanks. I think Tim told me that Rick was sending a few over, Rick and Shelly. So thank you for that. So everybody who makes it over to the channel, it's not the first of the month, not the first Wednesday of the month, but as you probably expected, but we're here since Tim is having a little family reunion time, Tim and Chris. So let's have a balcony banter, not on the balcony as you would normally expect, but we are both here, Ian and Luke, and I am not on the balcony, but at home.
Bedroom banter.
Exactly. So back room, bedroom, whatever room, banter. We're still going to be bantering a little bit. And here we have some more people coming in. So I'm really happy to see you all. Eugene McGeever, we got Sarah Childs. Hi Sarah, how are you? I hope you had a safe trip home. Same as Ann Elton. And Luke Otter. Who's that?
That's me.
And who else? Have I mentioned everyone? So good evening, everyone, once again. And the topic for today we have put up is expectations, whatever you want to call it. And actually it was Luke who suggested that topic. So Luke, why did you actually suggest it?
Well, actually, for the topics that I suggest for Balcony Banter, or even sometimes the questions that I leave in the comments, it's often things that I've just been thinking about myself over the last week or few weeks. I'm quite a introverted, introspective person, so I spend a lot of time just with my own thoughts, thinking about things. Maybe you can relate to that, Juliane. So I've been thinking about this idea of expectations for the last few weeks now, and for my own personal life, because I find that expectations for me kind of act as a strength and a weakness at the same time, depending on which expectations we're talking about. So I think for this topic today, we can go in many different directions with it. We can talk about internal expectations. What do we expect of ourselves?
Yeah.
We can talk about external expectations. What do we expect of other people, other societies, other places, etc. Maybe we could link expectations with mindset as well, because I think they're very linked together, whether you have a positive or negative mindset, or maybe it's your mindset influences your expectations, which influence your reality, I would say, something like that. That would be my argument anyway.
Yes.
So yeah, I think there's lots of directions we can go with this.
Absolutely. And we would love to hear from our dear viewers in the chat. What are your expectations? I mean, you are popping in every week, and more people are tuning in now. What are your expectations, and why do you think that sometimes we feel upset when those expectations are not really met? When something we expected and the outcome is maybe not as we expected it to be. Why do you think you get upset then? Let us know in the chat, and also maybe how you manage your frustration in that moment of when it's not really happening. How do you cope with that? What is your coping mechanism to cope with unfulfilled expectations? Probably you could say that. Okay, so we got a few more tuning in. It's Craig. He made it. So connection is great, he says. Great. Without him must be his Wi-Fi a problem. No, it's actually that we grant him family time. That's that's what we do. So he's fine and he's enjoying time with his family, and that's still very great. And I'm very grateful that I have such great, fantastic guests tonight, Ian and Luke, and you, of course, everyone in the chat. So we have somebody saying Minto. I have never seen Minto before, but I'm going to put it up. Lower expectations. Okay, so what shall we say about that? Is that a solution? Is that something we could consider to lower expectations?
I would say somebody with lower expectations are working on the negative side of their life. It's like one that was earlier on there. If somebody's got a high expectation, I would say they're always thinking positively, always thinking about going forward. It's something new. That would be the high. But I would be unhappy that if I was on the lower side, that would be giving me negative thoughts all the time. I don't know what you would think about that. That would be my initial take on that, anyway.
Yes, you're right, Ian. I mean, expectations, they can be good or bad, and to lower expectations is maybe it saves you. It sort of saves you from maybe hurt or anger or whatever outcome that is unwanted. On the other side, to raise or to maintain your expectations is also helpful in the sense of giving yourself a goal or a purpose or some kind of meaning in life. This is what ultimately moves us forward. I mean, we as human beings are all designed to grow or to disintegrate. So if we don't set new goals or maybe some kind of expectation that exhilarates us and gives us some kind of meaning, then we might as well just stand still. So it also is kind of a motivation trigger for an outcome that we are maybe pursuing. We can improve certainly the way we manage those kind of unfulfilled expectations. That is something that we need to maybe constantly improve and learn, and every day work on that. So yeah, what's your take on that, Luke?
I'm in two minds actually when it comes to the idea of lowering expectations, because on the surface, the idea of lowering expectations sounds like a very negative thing to do. I think internally towards yourself, I think lowering expectations is a terrible thing to do because you're setting yourself up for failure. For example, if you're taking a test and you're just saying to yourself, oh, I just hope I get a C. I'll be happy as long as I get a C. I just want to give me that C. Well, you set up your own future actually, because there's no way you're going to get an A or a B because you've already accepted that you're happy with a C or lower. So for myself personally, my expectations of myself are excellence. I don't accept anything other than excellence in my work. When I go to the gym, when I go out running, there's nothing but 100% that I accept for myself. However, when I'm looking externally to other people, other places, that is actually when I lower my expectations. Or I wouldn't say lower, but try to let go of the idea of expectations at all. I'll give you an example, something that happened to me recently. Well, something that happened a few years ago and then something that happened recently. I was taking a train about 4 or 5 years ago in Bangladesh. I was going to Chittagong to Sylhet. That train was 1 day late. It arrived 1 day late. But I wasn't really that upset about it because I've heard about the unreliable, disorderly transport in this country. So I was kind of like half expecting something like this was going to happen. But I can tell you recently, when I was in the UK, I was going down from Edinburgh to Manchester. That train was 1 hour late and I was infuriated by that because my expectation of the West, of the UK, France, Germany, etc., is efficiency, orderliness. I expect the trains to be punctual. So when it goes outside my expectations, suddenly I become angry, but it's only 1 hour. The other train was 1 day late and I wasn't that upset about it. So I think this is the key when it comes to our expectations. If we have a high expectation of things outside of our control, I think this is the key here, outside of our control. Then it can become very frustrating because, as it implies, we don't have control over it.
Exactly. Yes, and you are making a very good point there with letting go of things that are out of our control and things that we can control. Yes, Nikki is saying if you have high expectations of people, you're going to end up disappointed. Exactly what I mean. It's also external. That is something that cannot be that you cannot really influence. You can set a good example for other people and remain a good, controlled or calm person and kind person to your own self. Yes, that definitely. But controlling others and the outcome of how other people react to certain situations, that is oftentimes not really in our hands. We can hope it and we can have our best intentions, but yes, the best intentions should also be remaining for our own selves. And Marie says, if you have high expectations, depending on circumstances and goals are not achieved or fulfilled, just allow the goal you can achieve, in my opinion. Yes. Yep. Very good, Anne-Marie. Thanks for your commenting here, everyone. Nice ones. And I wanted to put up, actually, I have prepared a little slide for you. So I'm gonna see if I can find it. Let me see. Okay, so I don't know if you can all see that. So exactly what we were talking about, what we were talking about earlier, things out of control and things that are in control, and exactly what Luke was saying, letting go of maybe things that are out of our control circle. People, like what's written here, the opinion of other people, or how other people act out, or their actions or reactions. things that are happening around us, like what Luke was describing, the train being late, and our expectations that aren't met in a in a country that you would expect it to be on time. How can that possibly be? How can that possibly be that it's 1 hour late in England? The past, the future. Yes, exactly. And what other people think of me, then the outcome of my own efforts. That is also a tricky one, and that goes back to internal. If we stay too much, attached to the outcome of our own efforts, then it's a setup sometimes for failure, because that can lead to maybe internal struggle and internal little fights with the own pig dog, as I like to call it. Then how other people take care of themselves. I mean, sometimes we have family or good friends, and we see that they could be, or they should be doing something different, or should be doing something we would rather like them see doing, and they just don't. And then we can get so frustrated about it, and this frustration is actually not really helping us. So the coming back to the internal, what we can actually control, what is always there in our control, and where we can always find our own balance spot, is what we were saying before: goals that we set for ourselves, setting goals, and not even goals that are too low. Sometimes in life we tend to maybe set goals that are way too low, and then they are not motivating enough, those goals that we set. And then we tend to let them go if they just don't happen as quickly as we would like them to happen. That can happen as well. Then we have always control of how we speak to ourselves, and there it's not like the things that we say verbally, but there's so much internal chatter going on, and that chatter is with us 24/7. So make that chatter, that mind chatter, maybe a nice one, a nice and uplifting one. And then the thoughts and the actions. If we look at thoughts, then it's something we might think, we cannot really control that, but we can at least, in as a first instance, we can become aware of it. If we see that, oh my God, what am I thinking here in this very moment? It's okay. Don't beat yourself up in that moment. If you notice that you are thinking a really, really bad thought, don't beat yourself up, but become at least aware that you have that thought, and then it's easier to maybe change it to some kinder thought. Boundaries are also is also a good one. How other people treat us then, and what we do about it if we don't really like it. If we continue with allowing that in, or if we say stop, that's it. I don't want to be treated that way. Then what I give my energy to, those are always choices we have, and how I handle challenges. So yes, exactly what Luke and also you guys in the chat and Ian was saying. I'm gonna switch back. Guys, you can also speak now. I'm sorry if I took over too much.
Oh, that's great. That was great.
Yeah.
I have
So
a question for the both of you regarding expectations. Do you think that there is a time and place for having certain expectations on other people? Because other people would be considered out of our control. However, there are many settings in life where it's kind of forced that we have expectations of other people. If you're in a relationship, I'm sure there's an expectation of faithfulness in your relationship, or even just other figures in society. For example, imagine you're walking down a street and to the right of you, there is a homeless looking man who is clearly drunk. I don't think anybody would be that surprised to see that. I was in Manchester recently, so I can tell you there's a lot of that kind of stuff. But imagine you continue going down the street, and to your right, there's also a priest that is drunk on the street, or a monk that is drunk on the street. I think our reaction to those two individuals is going to be completely different, even though they're doing the same thing, right? Because we have an expectation of virtue from the priest or the monk.
Yeah.
So is this right or wrong? What do you think?
Well, I would say, well, first of all, it's a very good example you're giving there with the virtue and the image we have of those people. It's something we as human beings we tend to think in pictures, and if we hear the word monk, we associate a lot with that word. We associate, oh yeah, virtues, doing good, praying, being a good example. Whereas if and I'm not saying that to lower the person, but somebody who's living on the street, we think in our heads we have that picture of maybe lower education, which is something that I think in the future or now actually we can consider to rethink, because it's just not true. Oftentimes those images that we associate with certain words, and it's always good to reconsider expectations of what this kind of instance, whether governments or people, individuals, are supposed to be, and give equal chances, and make the efforts to learn about that person, and maybe why that man is living on the street. Be more curious about it, and not so judgmental, maybe.
Yeah, this is actually, this word expectation can actually transform its meaning, if you notice. So in this case, actually what we're talking about is judgment, not expectations, because we are judging the priest because he is not living up to the expectations that we have. Or for example, when we're talking about the student who is happy only to get a C, actually this word is transforming into mindset now. The problem with this individual is not so much expectations, it is to do with faulty mindset, faulty thinking. So this word is very malleable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I just want to read out a comment Tina made. Tina Rigby says, yes. Okay, what did Ellie say before? Let me put that up. Ellie says, we can have expectations from people we work with. Yes, very good. We were mentioning that earlier as well. And Tina is saying, yes, Ellie, expectations in the workplace are different to outside of work, even if the people are the same. Yes,
Yep.
Very, very good point that you're making there, and that is also similar to thinking in pictures. You think of a person in the workplace as so and so, being so and so, and then you judge maybe how the person would be in personal life, in private life, and you automatically already have like a label on. You put a label on, and that's it's oftentimes not really helpful. And this kind of marking territory and marking identity, we can really broaden that and allowing more in and be a little bit more open about it, and not so judgmental. Yeah, good comment.
Julie, I'd pick up on the point that Tina says there, the expectations in the workplace being different from outside. Obviously, your expectations in your workplace, for a start, you would be looking from good leadership from your team, even from your management, all the way right down to one of the main things that we're looking for there is good leadership. On the outside, and every day sort of on the street, you're doing your shopping, what have you, you're actually looking for your expectations there. You'd be looking for at least good manners, common sense, things like that. That would be sort of your everyday things that you would be looking to. As you say, forming these wee pictures. You're getting served over a counter. Somebody's serving you over a counter. You immediately form a wee picture of that person. So you're expecting either a polite reply, or, well, obviously you would be expecting a polite reply from them, something like that. You know? That's just picking up on that wee point that Tina made there.
Yes, good. Yeah.
Well, let's expand upon that point for a second, because I think this is an interesting point that we get to here. Let's say we accept that it is reasonable to have expectations on certain people in certain situations. As the example I gave earlier, if you're in a marriage or a relationship, you expect faithfulness from the other partner. Or when I'm driving my car outside, I don't expect someone to steal my car or vandalize my car when I'm outside. So we have these expectations that I would consider reasonable expectations. They're not unreasonable. So the question then comes, what happens when those expectations, which is it's not my fault to have these expectations, these are just a normal function of society. What happens when those expectations are not met? How does the individual react to that happening?
Are you saying there, Luke, as like me as the individual? My first reaction would be anger, which would be a negative thought.
Well, I think that's common for most people, that they would get angry.
It would be, right?
Juliani, do you have some advice on a more constructive way of dealing with it?
Well, like it was shown on the slide, though you mentioned normal situations, or that would be normal to think that way. What is normal? You know, and yes, definitely, anger comes up if somebody vandalizes or some other incidents that you just don't like how you are treated. That is always the first reaction, I would say, definitely. And it's good to sort of not to rant, but to give it an outlet, right? I mean, it's not really helpful if we suppress those emotions that we have. Like somebody vandalizing and or scratching your car. and you see that, then you wouldn't be like, your first reaction wouldn't be like, oh, I gotta be now. No, I mean, you're gonna probably say some words or out loud or whatever, and that's fine, because that's healthy as well. But then at the same time, the second action being of letting go, instead of like taking over, and allowing this to like absorb your whole day or your whole week. Because if we absorb those negative emotions and sticking with them and not letting them go, this can take over your day, your week, your months, your years, and your life. So and it turns into a habit pattern or vortex or some kind of unwanted outcome, because that's what in the end then we identify with. We become this negative current, and that's very detrimental. So having that that outburst maybe in that very moment, fine, that's very normal, that's healthy, right? But then trying to see how we can also let it go, that we are controlling or gaining control over ourselves again.
Yeah. Throw something else into the equation, Julianne. How do you get my head around this? As a child,
Yeah.
now, how when you're young, your expectations would be less than what you are when in your adulthood. In your adulthood, you have more pictures in your mind, and you're able to react that way. But as a child, your expectations for different things would be smaller. There'd be a much reduced picture image in your mind. But how do you get this in? You're fed this in from your parents. It's an inherited thing, surely. Your parents then become the guideline for you. Then you absorb it. Then you grow on the different things in life, your different expectations. A child could have good expectations from its parents, or would be bad. They could go to school. I think you mentioned there sitting down for their exams. Their expectations of this exam paper is, oh, I'm going to fail this, a negative. That's just an example.
Yeah, a very good example, Ian. Perfect. I mean, I think until the age of maybe 3, 4, we let a lot of things of our surroundings come in, and it just enters. It just comes in, and we allow it. And as a child, it's easy to not have those high expectations, and that's why it's so easy for children probably to just have this childlike spirit, and to manifest things much easier, because throughout our lifetime, using then our rational mind, which does not exist at all until the age of 3, 4, that part of the mind is not really there until that age. That rational part of the mind, where all the knowledge is stored, is also the one that is sabotaging. So that is the one that is then actually, even if we have the best intentions, maybe, of our expectations, right, is at the same time the little devil, the little pig dog that is getting in the way.
Yeah. Even, I mean, you're talking up to the age of 3, but even up to the age of 3, you still have these small pictures, your small expectations. You would be expecting your mum to put your breakfast on the table. You would be expecting a top. These are just tiny expectations you would be having as a child. Obviously, as your years goes on, I think you just said this, you start to absorb more information, then you start to expand your expectations into sort of coming up into teenage life, which can be rebellious at times, whereas
Ooh.
you come up into an adult situation, you've got your own desires and you've got your own agenda, so you've got more expectations going out
Exactly.
into your life. Yeah,
it's more and more and more, and that's where we need to select and make better choices, probably, and learn how to decipher and how to choose the things that actually add value and not lower. Right?
yeah,
I think for what Ian is talking about as well, in the childhood years, it is particularly difficult. But what I would urge everybody to do in terms of expectations or whatever mentally has happened in your childhood, the brain is just like the body, like the physical body. So in order to improve and have it be a fertile area, a conducive area, you have to train your brain, just like how you would train your body by going to the gym or by running. I mean, for myself, I remember when I was young, my mother was incredibly negative. She has a very negative mindset on everything. And my dad was just like some useless drunk. So, so I had these two people as parents. And when I got older, I inherited all that, their mindset, their way of thinking about the world. And I had to go through extensive neurological retraining in order to actually get my mind in a place that is actually conducive for success. Because in the past, it was only conducive for failure, because that's what I knew as a child. So these expectations, these thoughts, these feelings that you have are not fixed. They're not like cement that they stick there forever and you can't do anything about it. They can actually be broken down and whittle away and be replaced by something positive. It's not easy. I'm not suggesting it is, but
No.
with training, with dedication, with hard work, you can actually replace everything in your brain. It's very easy.
Yes. Yes, you're making a great point there, Luke. I really like that you come out with that, and it's really true. It's something that is very flexible. Our mind,
yeah.
and with the right exposure to the right or to better things. Things that actually add value and inspire for for well-being, then those things are the ones to seek. But then on a daily basis, this has to become like a routine, right? The same way as the environment that is maybe an unwanted one is there constantly. We can create an environment that is more conducive and more more for towards well-being, and then automatically it's inevitable that we become more in tune, and there we go into vibration. We're becoming more in tune, and we are coming on a different frequency level to tune into people that are more in alignment with us. you start meeting people who are more interested in the things you are maybe now more interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But but it's like frequency levels. If we operate on a very low level, then all we can attract in that very moment is just that what is on that frequency level. If we want higher, we need to raise the vibration, and we need to raise it maybe artificially, right? Making believe and creating new beliefs, because the topic is expectations, and I have looked up the meaning or how Google says expectations is a strong belief that something will happen or be the case. So it's about belief. So we have to make belief then a new belief system, and create a new belief system.
Mm-hmm.
That is our level of frequency, and that is the new frequency level that we tune in, and are in tune with those things on that level.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
how.
It's
Yeah, go
I
on.
think with expectations as well, what is happening internally is what's going to go out externally as well. So whatever expectations that we have of ourselves often get projected onto the world. We are our own gods in some way. Whatever we think is true, what we think is right, what we think is wrong, internally then goes out externally. So to give you an example, I mean, if I'm someone that cannot accept being late, being someone who is very punctual, then if somebody else is to be late, that is then suddenly a sin in my world, because this is something that I don't accept of myself. And therefore, I don't accept it. My expectations is that I don't accept it of anybody else. So we are our own person, and everybody else is their own individual as well. And of course, whatever everybody else is dealing with in their lives, what's happened in their lives. So again, I think it's more of a matter of just letting go of what is out of our control.
Exactly. It's again that boundary thing, as we saw earlier on the slide. I mean, this is something that you cannot accept for yourself, because that's your standard. Not being on time, and other people you are surrounded with, they also need to be on time. And okay, well, if they're late, it's something you don't like, and then obviously it's easier to set a boundary and to let go of people who continuously do that, maybe, right? You would probably have a chat with them. Hey, why are you always late? Or let's be on time the next time, or whatever you're doing in that kind of situation. But you wouldn't allow it like to take over their them being not on time, so that they would change you, right? So they wouldn't have the control. Oh, all right. So Luke is going to be also not on time now, because that's a boundary that you are probably setting then. So it's easier to let go of the things that that are not on our frequency level and in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So Anne-Marie says a lot of people who come from impoverished backgrounds have achieved greatness in their lives. For example, athletes who are inspirational. Yes, very true. That's very true. And again, athletes is a very good example. They are thinking a lot in pictures, right? Look, how would you set up your sport routine? I mean, you mentioned that you are working out a lot. Do you
My
use
sports
mind?
routine actually, my sports routine has nothing to do with physical. I don't actually care about being physically healthy or being an athlete or anything like that. Everything that I do physically is actually for my mind, because I find that physical activity, building endurance, pain, suffering that I go through every day is actually for my mind. That's what I'm working on when I do that. And going back to the example of somebody vandalizing your car, well, yes, somebody vandalizing your car is a terrible thing. But at the end of the day, a car is an inanimate object. It does not exist. However, if you allow, like you mentioned, Juliane, which is very true, that negativity to go into your consciousness and you're thinking about it for days, weeks, months, whatever it is, well, now they have vandalized you as a person. They have vandalized you, which is a far more precious thing than a car. So to go back to your question, when I'm training, it's always for the mind. I want to armor my mind, because in the past, I'm very mentally weak. I'm a very weak person mentally. And what happened to me in the past is, like, for example, I equate uh, mindset to having a scratch. If something scratches me, I don't have the platelets to stop the blood. So I just keep bleeding all the time. So even a little scratch, I lose a lot of blood over it because I have no way of stopping the blood. That's what was happening to my mind in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go out, when I run, when I go to the gym, I'm going there. I'm ready to die, really. I'm ready to die when I go out there, because I'm really training my mind to have armor around it, so that nothing can get in, nothing can hurt me, nothing can dissuade me, stop me from achieving what I want to achieve in life. So that's what I use it for, actually.
Okay, good. Yeah. Let me just put up another comment that is here. Done trucking. So many people still on. Very good. I like that. You are seeing things as what you regard as normal. As Juliana said, what is normal? Your expectations are whatever you have taken on board through your life, and you believe this to be the norm. Exactly. Yes.
Good comment.
That's what we said earlier. And if you want a different norm, then yes, it's creating that different norm or mindset or surrounding that can be. I mean. Like 2 years ago, I wouldn't have thought probably that I would be doing balcony banter on such a regular basis, right? I mean, that was also not really on my mind, but I committed to balcony banter, and I think it's a very beneficial thing to do, not only for myself, for others as well, and I think it's wonderful to have such a good community as you guys are, and I'm really grateful for all the great comments you are making here in the chat. Wonderful to see that. Ian, you are part of our community, so are we meeting your expectations?
Yes, you are meeting my expectations. I think I'm going to go back to something that I said at the very beginning. Your high and your lower, as I said, your high expectations is always generating positive thoughts, always, and you always want to do that in going through life. It also adds to the value that you get out of life. Whereas I think we said it before, we've said it many times tonight, the lower expectations is creating negativity, and you have some way or another to get yourself lifted from this negative attitude back up into a positive attitude. Because
Yes.
I find when you're in the negative attitude, your expectations will always be as failure. You must get out of that. I think the only way, I think you touched on it, Luke, is you have to change your mindset, but you have to do it very slowly. You have to take it steps at a time and understand what you've changed.
Yeah. Yes.
to get yourself, to build yourself back up again to a higher, a positive outlook, which again increases the values in your lifestyle.
Yes, you are saying, making a very good point there, Ian. Building yourself up in moments where, where it's not easy, or it's a bit becoming a little bit more challenging. It's always good advice when you're changing your paradigm or your beliefs or your habits, that you are actually building yourself up. And that means being kind to yourself in those moments where you could go like easily out of habit, because that's how we are conditioned. That's just normal action or reaction would be and then it's not really helping. So being kind and building yourself up rather than beating yourself up.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. So let me see if we have some more. Carry on, please. I'm just gonna look through the chat if we have any more.
Ali Bennett says yes. Take it in baby steps.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah, for the comment of the community.
Where? Oh, okay. I'm way behind. There's so many.
So am I, actually.
Okay. David Butler says successful business and sport is based on setting goals at the top of what can be achieved. But I worry about those who expect instant perfection, as this only leads to disappointment, frustration, and anger. Yes, you're making a very good point there, David. Perfection. Yeah. What would you say, Luke?
Instant perfection is going to be tough, but inevitably there's going to be setbacks that occur along the way. So I think it's just, I mean, it sounds cliche to say this, but take those setbacks as learning lessons for the future. Mm-hmm. I'm not someone who follows David's advice that well, I must confess, because I have very high expectations of myself when it comes to the things that I do. So perhaps I'm a bad example in this case, but generally speaking, I agree with what he's saying.
Good. Yeah.
Instant perfection. You can't get instant perfection. You can build up perfection, but you will not get instant perfection. I've been there. I've tried it.
Okay. All right.
You're saying instant perfection is right the first time. Yes, it is good to be right the first time, but 9 times out of 10, you won't be right the first time, but you'll be right the second time.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a journey. I personally struggle with the word perfection. I don't really believe in perfection. You can definitely set high goals and try to be a high achiever. But perfection is something so out of the box, which is setting yourself sometimes up for failure. It's always good to definitely have the intention for doing your best, and your best looks definitely different every day. And staying kind on that journey towards the best, what you're giving every day, is that's already high achievement. So
I think giving your best is what one can do, but actually very few people do it. Very few people give their best. So perfection definitely not is not attainable, but giving your best on a daily basis. I mean, there's many times I can tell you when I'm running, I don't want to run, and I feel okay, I want to stop. I want to walk for a while, or I can't go on. I can't do this. I can't run up this hill. But then I always think to myself, if someone's got a gun to my head and is insisting that I continue running, or he's going to shoot me, I would be able to keep running. So therefore, I'm not giving my best. In fact, actually, my mind is quitting before my body. So yeah, giving your best, that's what we should hope for.
Yeah, good. Let me see if I'm going through the a little bit more
One
through
for
the
done
chat.
trucking.
Go on, Ian.
Done trucking. Any bad experiences or bad things that happen to you should be put away in a box with "do not open" on it and buried in the back of your mind. Always try to be positive and enjoy life. You only get one. Good one.
Yes.
Done trucking. That's it.
Yes. Okay. Good comment there. Yes, I like it. The box. Ooh, yeah. Oh, I like that one. The box.
Nice one.
Yep. And then sometimes you find the box again, and then
If you find the box again, you don't open it because it's sealed.
okay, all right. Okay. Yeah, I love all the comments you are making. Thank you so much, and I'm definitely going to make the effort to go through them afterwards, because I'm sure I haven't put all of them up on the screen. So have we got the time? Actually, I don't see.
It's
6:49. Okay, so no,
6:49.
6:51.
6:51.
Okay, all right. Because we've been chatting. So that is such a great conversation.
Yeah.
So Ian.
Yeah. As a matter of interest, are you hosting next week?
Yes. Next week is really going to be the first of the month.
Yeah.
So next week we will be live on this channel again. So today was a good practice run, actually, and a very good one. I'm really happy about this balcony banter, and to be honest, it exceeded my expectations. Yes, I have to say that. So next week, yes, we will be on this channel, and we have a wonderful guest coming up. So yes, you will all be seeing her. It's a she. All right, Luke, do you have any last words? Or
well,
would
if
you
I could
like
sum
to
it
add
up,
something? Sorry.
yeah, I mean, if I can sum it up in 30 seconds, I would say that expectations is linked to mindset, and mindset creates your future, your reality. So it is something that to me is incredibly important. I know for some people, they don't believe that. They believe that their life is just laid out before them and they can't change it, which is what we would consider a position of a determinist. But if you believe that you actually are in control of your life, then your mindset, your expectations are vitally important. So it is something to think about and perhaps ponder upon in terms of some that you might want to change, some that you believe in, some that you don't. It's cause for reflection, I would say.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Mindset is really worthwhile digging in a little bit deeper and making it a way of life. Actually, something that is flexible, that can be changed. Also, circumstances and conditions can be changed. As you are a perfect example, Luke. So, yes.
Well, work in progress.
Yeah. And Ian.
There's a comment came up from David Butler. Can you get that one? Yeah.
Yeah. Career expectations can grow from humble goals step by step to a leading role in society or business, particularly from a less privileged background. Yes, you're giving a very good keyword there. I like the word humble. Humble goals, yes. And I mean, humble is related to human, right? So goals, the high set goals, maybe even a little bit out of reality goals, is definitely something to keep going, and then it's also good sometimes to set those humble goals, just to test and to see that yes, you are actually capable, and you are giving yourself more power. But try for the next time to set them higher, and then go with the same principle, like little humble goals, step by step. And and that gives you a little bit more boost for the higher goals as well, I guess.
Goal setting. That's a episode in itself.
Absolutely. Oh yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Julianne, just to finish off my thoughts on it. My thought for the day: every day is new. Take a deep breath and start again. Find ecstasy in life. The mere sense of living is joy enough.
I love it. Thank you so much, Ian. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, that's exactly what keeps the vibration high and the joy of life alive, right? So
sure
thank
does.
you for that, for those last words. And yes, to all of you in the chat who I have not put up on screen, we will be going through all of your comments. And if you want, also leave a comment after the show in the comment section, and we will be happy to answer them. Thank you guys so much for making it over to my channel. And next week, yes, I will see you here, same time, same place. But then again, obviously with Tim and Christine, and some balcony, and some banter, and some you guys.
That's it. As a quickie before you press the button to go out.
Yeah.
There is a new YouTube channel up
Ooh.
by the name of Ian Miller. If you
Ian Miller.
find it, please subscribe.
Oh, make sure to go check it out. Ian Miller YouTube. And yes, he has good stuff there. Really nice videos of the islands. Ibiza, all your travels, Tenerife. And you're really getting really good at editing too. And the music is very uplifting and very vibrant. So yeah, keep going, Ian.
Yeah, you
And
pointed
give
me in the
him
right
some
direction
love.
there.
Subscribe and share if you like. You
Thank you.
Tenerife lovers and sunshine lovers and lizards. All right, I'm gonna leave you guys with our intro and outro at the same time, and I wish you a wonderful week ahead. Thank you, Luke, for making time for us tonight.
My pleasure.
And Ian, for being part of the show, and of course for all of our lovely viewers. Thanks a lot. Mwah.
Bye, everyone.